Here we are then, once again, with F1 2021 and part 5 of Season 4 of our Immersive Driver Career Mode with Mercedes. Today we've got the French Grand Prix, and this is quickly turning into my favourite track on the game. I really enjoyed driving it this year. We've had some excellent results this year, so hopefully we can have a pole position and a race victory. That's what I'm aiming for today. Make sure you leave a like if you are enjoying the series so far. Looking at the R&D so far this season, we have been improving every single race. The only race we didn't have any upgrades for was Imola. Since then, we have been putting in a load into the car. The team have been working really hard. And you can see we've created a bit of a gap now in terms of performance to Red Bull and Ferrari. We haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment, but we are very close to maxing out the car. I'm going to keep with the Canada engine for now. This is the second last race on our gearbox, but we are looking pretty good for wear so far. If we have a look at Season 1 in France, we didn't finish. We were running very well for Alpine that race, but had an engine failure. Season 2 with Ferrari, we managed to finish in second position. Last year we finished down in 6th, but it was still a good point scoring performance, and this year hopefully we are gonna go one better and get our first victory around Le Castellet. So here we go. Let's see how we get on in qualifying. Well, we come up to the line for the first time in Q1, and that's not a great time, a 1:27.8. That's only quicker than George Russell at the moment. We can do a lot better than that, but gonna have to go around again, I think, to be sure of our place in Q2, which is a big disappointment. Wanted to get through that without any trouble whatsoever. Well, there we are, through in 13th in Q1. Not too bad, but we did that on our scrub set of tyres. Lewis Hamilton up there fighting with Max Verstappen, but I do think we've got a lot more pace in the car. Here we come then at the start of Q2. This is a much better lap, and there you go, it's a 1:26.9. And that's enough for 4th place at the moment. Should be more than enough to get us through to Q3. And there you go. We are through nicely in 9th place. 3/10 quicker than Yuki Tsunoda. But we've got to try and find a little bit more time in Q3 if we want a pole position. Well, here we come up to the line. Lewis Hamilton goes quickest with a 1:26.4. We only do a 1:27.5. That's a really poor lap. Well, here we come up to the line. It's going to be in the 1:26s, but not enough to really threaten anyone. Only P9 in the end, and that's a real shame considering how much pace I think we did have. But couldn't pull it out in the end, and Max Verstappen 6/10 quicker than us.
With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So again, we're going to have to go for a bit of a recovery drive in the race, because that is very much out of position, but so close out there. One little mistake and, you know, it all goes to pot, but hopefully we can pull it out in the race tomorrow.
Hello and welcome to the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. It's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. and let's hope we see more of those in the race today. We have 15 corners here at the Circuit Paul Ricard, 6 to the left and 9 to the right. The rain is coming down and making for a slippery racing surface, but luckily there is plenty of runoff available, and hopefully we'll be able to avoid bringing out a safety car during today's Grand Prix. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Sergio Perez, and Norris. Gasly, the captain, Giovinazzi, and Yuki Tsunoda. Vettel, Lundgaard, Charles Leclerc and Stroll, Russell, Ocon, and Guan Yu Zhou and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Okay, here we are then, down on the track, unfortunately in wet weather conditions. We usually do shine in these wet weather conditions, but it just means that there's a little bit of variance there, and the possibility for something to go wrong. I was expecting with the dry conditions, the race pace of the car would be good enough to...
But we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
To get us back into the race, but we're going to have to work very, very hard on these intermediate tyres, and it could potentially mean that we dip into some dry weather tyres later on. It certainly doesn't seem too wet, and, you know, making that judgment call will be tricky. Well, everybody crawling round this
10 minutes left of this rain.
Paul Ricard circuit,
10 minutes.
and a 10-minute warning before the rain is going to stop. So I think the last couple of laps of this Grand Prix could be dry weather conditions, so we need to make sure that we're patient and that we wait for our chances today, because they will come, certainly later in the Grand Prix. But boy, is this going to be a tough old race. I'll see you when we get to lights out. Here we come then, up to the grid. Max Verstappen starting on pole. Lewis Hamilton in second. Fernando Alonso in third. Bottas fourth. Perez fifth. Norris sixth. Gasly seventh. We're starting in eighth, with Giovinazzi ninth and Tsunoda in 10th. We're all lining up. This is going to be an intense start.
Be patient and watch for the lights.
So let's see how it goes. 5 red lights are about to come on. Lights out, away we go. Here in France, lots of wheel spin off the start, but we managed to keep it in a straight line. And although a few of the AI go around us, we are just trying to stay out of trouble going into the first corner. And we've only lost 1 position. We've got a chance going down the inside here, although Norris closes the door. We are just really trying to stay out of trouble here. We go round the outside. And that looks okay. That'll do. That'll do nicely. There's a little bit of contact there. I hope we didn't lose any of our front wing. I don't think we did. So we managed to make it up to 7th by the end of the first sector. And now we can focus on finding our rhythm, finding our pace because we got out of the carnage of turn 1. That could have been chaotic. We could have lost a front wing through no fault of our own. But we're safely through the first lap, it seems. Well, we got a chance on Pierre Gasly here. We're going to go down the inside. Wow, that was close. But we're okay, especially with Jeff rambling down our earpiece. That was really, really good. And we held it together nicely. And now we're up to 6th position. Closing in on Sergio Perez. But we certainly seem to be acclimatising to these conditions slightly better than most of the grid. A little bit of a slide out of the final corner, but we're okay. We come up to the line now. Just slightly slower than the fastest lap, which was posted by Max Verstappen, who's at the front, leading the way at the moment. We had a little moment there, but we seem okay for now. Well, what an exit from the final corner we got there. And we are now having a little look at Sergio Perez.
We're trailing our teammate by 2.
And we should have the move easily completed into the first corner, and we do. So now up to 5th position. Closing in on Fernando Alonso. Well, this is a chance on Fernando Alonso now. We've got overtake enabled. He's got the inside line. But we had the racing line. And he broke a lot sooner than we did. And we're now up to 4th position.
Brilliant. Nice move.
In this Grand Prix. We've got the fastest lap of the race. We are definitely the fastest guy out there. We got our teammate Lewis Hamilton ahead of us, and then Lewis Hamilton's former teammate Valtteri Bottas ahead of him, holding him up at the moment. But you can see the track is definitely getting drier as we are approaching the halfway mark of this Grand Prix. We might be thinking about dry tyres very soon. Well, we're now right behind our teammate Lewis Hamilton, and we are going to have a go at him round the outside, and much like Alonso, we managed to brake just that little bit later than him. And now we've got Valtteri Bottas in our sights and Max Verstappen not too far down the road.
Front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Well, now we've got the chance on Valtteri Bottas. We go to the outside again. And once again, we outbrake our opposition, just about managing to keep it in the confines of the track. And we are through into 2nd position once again.
It's not a perfect situation, but I don't think we have cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
And it is very much drying up this track, but we have only got 4 laps to go after this. As we go a little bit wide there. Well, there goes Valtteri Bottas with the DRS. And this certainly is a dry track now.
Copy.
And Jeff is suggesting coming in, boxing. Well, Verstappen hasn't come in, neither has Lewis Hamilton. Are they going to come in next lap? Is that what's going to happen? We're away on the soft tyres. We're out there. Just ahead of Valtteri Bottas behind us. This is going to be a very interesting outlap. Are the guys on Inter's going to just stay out there for the final lap? So yeah, Lewis Hamilton is in the pits.
Lewis is in for
I don't think Max Verstappen is. Verstappen has stayed out. He's stayed out on the intermediate tyres, he's going to be a sitting duck, surely. As we now come onto the pit straight for the final time. Gasly,
This is your final lap.
Alonso,
Final lap of the race.
and Verstappen all out there on intermediate tyres. How quick are we going to close in on them? That's the question. We put in a purple first sector,
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
but I don't think we're going to close in enough to get past Max Verstappen. There's not enough corners left. We should get to the other guys though. There's Alonso and Gasly. They're going to be sitting ducks in this final sector. But I think Max Verstappen is too far ahead. And there they are, you see, they're having to go very, very slow. A little bit of contact on the way through. We go down the inside of Fernando Alonso. Max Verstappen has held on. A truly sensational victory. We come over the line in second. We don't manage to win it in the end, but second place we'll certainly settle for.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to the captain. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, disappointment in the end to only finish second, but we would have took that at the start of the day. Max Verstappen managing to hang on by the skin of his teeth at the end by 7.7 seconds. Bottas finishes third behind us. Alonso clings on to a brilliant fourth. Gasly a brilliant sixth. Lewis Hamilton, who pitted the lap after us, he finishes 8th. So that was the difference there. Coming in when we did, it was the right time. Jeff brought us in and we did manage to get onto the right tyre, but we just ran out of laps. One more lap, I think we would have done it. That means that we are now second in the championship, 9 points behind Max Verstappen. Alonso drops to third now, 14 points behind. Bottas 19 and Lewis Hamilton 30 points behind at this point. The Constructors, Red Bull, open up a 20-point lead over ourselves, Mercedes. But there you go. That is the end of this episode. If you have enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching and goodbye.